Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Dragoon. First off, real quick, I just want to apologize. It's been a little while. I'll make this brief because I know if you're watching this in the future, it's one episode after another. It's weird. Why are you talking about this? Well, I had a couple things break. A capture card of mine that I was using broke, so I had to replace that. I also got a new laptop that I am recording to, and there were some software problems with that. It's running Windows 10, all kinds of weird compatibility issues. But I think I finally got that sorted, and well, I guess if you're watching this, then, well, obviously I got it sorted, so we should be good to go. Anyway, if you don't remember, we are in Spring Breath Town, Ulara. We have just met with Charl, the older brother, whose younger brother is Melbu Frama, the big angry wingly dictator from back in the Dragon campaign. So we've learned about the signets, the things that are kind of sealing away the moon that never sets in order to prevent the birth of the god of destruction, which Shana is the soul of the god of destruction. A lot of weird, complicated things have happened, but we will get more into that as we go. So let's get back into the swing of things here. We currently just have Rose in our party. Everyone's sort of split up for the night. We finished our briefing and now we're just exploring the town. So we've got a couple places to check out. There is still one more Stardust that I need to pick up here, and it is actually in this building. The Winglies and their teleporters, they love these things, so it looks like Albert and Congo are hanging out in here. What are you doing? I mean, you don't need a reason to be wherever you are, but especially in a weapon shop, I think you can guess what they're doing there. All right, Congo. You haven't really done much for the story thus far, but I'm glad to have you with us. Didn't imagine we wouldn't go with you. Yeah, pretty much. Hurry up if you want to buy. Come on, but this isn't a place to loiter. We gotta close up sometime. So this is a weapon shop. We are actually going to stop by and pick up this Stardust real quick. It's good. The weapon shop doesn't really have anything good. In fact, I don't think it actually even has anything better than what we currently have, which is strange. This fairy sword is pretty bad. I guess it gives 50% more SP if you're into that kind of thing. But as you can see, it drops our attack dramatically. Remember, we have that sword that we had to get the health item, the healing charm thing. I forget what it's called even. That heals us every round in order to offset the fact that it drains our HP, and it's pretty strong. Cannot be armed with. Nobody can use this. We also have the Thunder Fist, which again, we don't have Haschel with us. Some of this stuff actually, this Thunder Fist may be better. I'll have to come back once we grab Haschel. But as you can see, we kind of have a limited party at this point, so it's a little bit hard to tell what's better and what's not. And there's also an item shop down here, which I'm not going to go to because we don't need to deal with items at all. We're pretty much stocked up. All right, back out into the main part of the city. Remember, this is the place. Nice little place with roses and fountains. Looks pretty neat. All right, this is the main little hub area. We want to head over this way. This is pretty much the final place, I think, that we haven't been yet in this town, so let's check it out. Looks like Miranda and Haschel are here. And things get serious. The reason why I hate roses is because I see my mother in roses. She looked at me directly as if she was hiding something from me. Oh man, it's rough. There were always roses on the shelf behind my mother. Man, things got serious all of a sudden. We were just exploring the town. It spoils our drinks, yeah. And Haschel having a rare, serious moment here. It's so sharp that it hurts. Yeah, straight to the point. Haschel's been drinking too much since he heard we're going to Rouge. That's right. We learned that in order to get to the first seal, we need to head to Rouge, Haschel's hometown, a place we haven't seen yet. It should be interesting. Of course, to save the world. It's not like he just wants to see his home again. Yeah, let's all hang out for drinks. That sounds good. Alright, so now that we're all liquored up, let's get out of here. This is an interesting place. It's kind of hard to see the depth in this room, but this is actually a lower area, this teleport in the center. There's stairs to go down here, so it's kind of hard to see. It looks like it's just a stage or something, but I guess if you look at the bartender up there, you can see that he is, in fact, down below. An age when the world was ruled by the Wingleys. In order to pay for that, we're now stuck in the bar. We can't leave the bar. Oh, what a terrible fate. At the time of the Dragon campaign, Wingleys were divided into two camps. Each followed one of the leaders, Charl and Melbu, who were siblings. So yeah, they were kind of two different factions within the Wingleys, something we were never really told about. I guess history never really knew that. We just kind of knew the dictator part of it. But Charl was here trying to say, like, maybe we shouldn't subjugate every other race in existence. Maybe that's a bad thing to do. And now we're working with her in order to, well, stop everything from being destroyed, so I guess she was right in the end, huh? Alright, and our last party member. Looks like Meru is out here chatting with Karen. Remember the lady who runs the teleporting device? Similar technology, but these guys are probably way more advanced than the Wingleys back in the forest were, for sure. I don't know why Rose questioned, oh, you're coming too? I thought we'd just leave you here. Everybody's the same, Gigantos, humans, and Wingleys. Can't stand the destruction of a world where everybody lives. Yeah, fair enough. For the first time, I agree with Meru. It's been a while since Rose and Meru have been on the same page, huh? So by tomorrow morning, she'll be prepared. She can send you on the way to the home of Gigantos. Man, a bit of a trek there. So, yeah, just send us directly to Rouge. Like, what's the point? Alright, so unfortunately, she can only send us back to the home of Gigantos, but a boat has been prepared in the Twin Castle. I remember the Twin Castle, yeah. Was there a dock there? I don't remember that. We had to go to Danao, the Flower City, in order to board the Queen Fury the first time. I asked King Zyar and had him make one especially. He constructed a dock in the castle? Wow. That's pretty impressive, I gotta say. So apparently she went and talked to the king, sort of ended their... The guy said they were stuck there, but it looks like they could leave at any time, I guess. Mission of the city is to send you off. And this is one way the city's been looking after the world. Yeah, I remember Rose in her adventures as the Black Monster having to kill the Moonchild. She's done it like 100 times or something. And has been saving the world each time, despite being called a monster. Alright, got our party back. Switch Meru in, let's switch Haschel in. Remember, this is the party we're rolling with. Alright, and now we are up here in these weird little cocoon beds. I don't know, this can't be comfortable. Could you, like, look at this. This is literally arched up. Like, do you think you actually lay on this, or do you, like, somehow unzip it and, like, get in like a cocoon? Because it looks like a cocoon, right? I don't know. Just give me a full-size bed, like a mattress, you know, box springs, that whole thing. I don't think I want to experiment with a cocoon bed. Okay, back out here. Looks like these guys are doing fine. Now, I'm going to see if we can stop by the shop here. I'm not sure, because everybody may be back in the central area. I remember they were going to send us off in the morning, but hopefully the shop owner stayed behind, because I would like to see if that Thunder Fist is actually better for Haschel or not. So, if they're open and serving customers, I would like to see, because I think once we go back out there, we won't be able to go back in here again, so... Ah, no, he's not here. Ah, well, too bad. I guess I should have went before heading back to the center area with Meru, and that ended the whole thing, right? So we're about done with Ulara. Pretty quick stay here. You know, it's not too big of a town. Didn't have too much to do, but... Oh, well, check this out. Look at everybody. Jarl, what is this? I can't hear you over the sound of everybody flying. It's a send-off for great heroes. You've been doing really great. Since the soul of Viraj Embryo, the god of destruction, was released, you have saved the world. Let me see, at least 107 times. It's a lot of times. The monster has died. Yeah, Rose has grown herself on this journey. Zeke is serious, and he has everything to give birth to the god of destruction. Yep, he's got all the tools. Only Dragoons can stop him. Like destruction or regeneration. Yeah, I kind of wonder what the point was. You know? Why would you create all this stuff just to have a final, you know, organism that would just destroy everything? Everybody must survive, yep. And off we go. No big ceremony or anything, just whoop, there you go. And what I think is kind of funny, as we come back to the world map, we're literally just outside the town. They didn't send us anywhere. Look, it's right here. We could just turn around and walk back in. Like, really? That's your big send-off? But she wasn't entirely lying, because somehow the home of Giganto is right here. So you may be a little bit confused about where we are, kind of on the world map. And if we zoom out a bit, we can kind of see that we're actually sort of in the center of the landmass. It's a thing you didn't really, you know, you probably wouldn't think about on your own time, but once we left the Twin Castle and, you know, boarded the boat on Danao, we actually pretty much just sailed all the way around to the north of this continent and up to Milsaso in the north and the northwest. So we pretty much skipped this entire center section, and that's actually where the Death Frontier and all that stuff was. So I assume the reason we went to the Death Frontier is because we were walking back, maybe, and we didn't have the boat, I guess. And we just kept going in the center. Who knows? But anyway, let's head back. Oh no, that little excursion cost me a battle. All right, so let's take our one step. There we go. Literally just spin around and didn't even walk. So we're back in the home of Giganto. You may wonder where we're gonna come out. Yep, if you thought that statue, that head statue, was a little bit out of place, that's why. This is actually a link that would take us back to Ulara and the Death Frontier. So we could have went there all this time ago, but because we didn't investigate the statue. Karen and Gigantos were pals for a long time, but this, of course, is when there were still some Gigantos left. Yeah, they're pretty much all gone now. Sorry, Kongol. Yeah, it's like I said before, the legend really only tells of the, you know, the winglies that dominated the rest of the species. Correct knowledge brings correct conduct. That's such an Albert thing to say, right? Alright, so our objective is to head back to the Twin Castle. There's apparently a dock there now. I don't guess there was before. And we're going to take a boat to Rouge. So, hey, that's cool. Unfortunately, we have to walk all the way back there. And if you don't remember, the home of Gigantos was actually a pretty long way away from the Twin Castle. You'll see just how far it was once we leave this place. If we can get out of here without a fight. And no, if you're wondering, the enemies have not gotten any tougher. It's exactly the same as it was the first time we were here. So all of the enemies are super easy and will fall in one hit to pretty much anybody at this point. So yes, we have to walk back through the Valley of Corrupted Gravity, which means we also have to walk back through the Barrens after this. And I'm sure you can remember just how long the Valley of Corrupted Gravity is. A bunch of waiting on rocks and stuff, so it's gonna take a long time for me, but not for you. Spin around a bit for old time's sake. Whoa! Alright, about 3 or 4 minutes later, we are finally out of the Valley of Corrupted Gravity, just in time to fight some more stuff. It's also worth mentioning that along the way, Meru actually leveled up her Dragoon spirit one more time. So she has now reached the max, I believe, and has learned the Blue Sea Dragon magic. So we'll probably see that at some point. It's not really wieldy. There's not really a good time. It's very expensive, and the damage is kind of okay-ish. But I'll show it at some point. And we are through the Barrens. Plenty of time to relive all those memories about having our Dragoon spirit stolen. That was a fun time, right? So like I said, our objective is in Flets, but I'm actually going to take this other path down. That's because I'm going to be going back to Sertio, believe it or not. And remember how whenever I was grinding out all of those addition levels in order to get the final additions, I said that we got a whole lot of money along the way and I was going to use it at some point. This is the time we're going to use it. We're going to head to the south of Sertio. And an interesting thing about this is we're not going to have to switch discs to actually go to this world map. It is actually on the 4th disc. We have to fight though, of course. And we are going to make a quick left here. It's actually, I guess, a right from Dart's perspective. And we're going to head to the commercial town of Lohan. You remember Lohan, right? It's a place with Dabas and the Doctor where we took Shauna, and the fighting tournament when we met Lloyd for the first time. Man, those are some memories, right? And we have to insert Disc 2, not Disc 1, which was where all of those events took place, but Disc 2. So it's kind of an interesting thought of how they managed to fit all of these things on these discs. Because, you know, multiple discs for RPGs was really not a rarity back in the PS1 days. It's one of the things I definitely don't miss. Probably the easiest, biggest example is the Final Fantasy series. Final Fantasy VII was on, I think, 3 discs, if I'm not mistaken. And Final Fantasy 8 and 9 were both on 4 discs also, I think. So it was a big jump whenever we went to Final Fantasy X. It's like, oh man, it's on 1 disc. I don't have to keep changing things in and out. So it's a thing that happened a lot. I'm also wanting to say Chrono Cross was on multiple discs. I seem to remember that. And then Legend of Legaia came in a case that was for 2 discs, but only had 1 disc in it, if I'm not mistaken. And then the other one was just like used for the booklet, which is strange, but well, whatever they want to do. So here we are in Lohan, back in disc 2 for some reason. And we're going to go back to this weapon shop up here. You may not have really thought too much of this place at the time, but we're actually going to head back and talk to this dude who put his heart into making these. We'll buy something. This guy's going to be getting a lot of money, I'll tell you that. So if we head in and check out what we've got all these things, lance, cape. Oh, look at this, a legend, a casque, I don't know, cask, it's easier to say. 10,000 gold, very expensive, which we definitely didn't have the money for at the time. But as you can see, it increases both magic attack and magic defense, apparently. I didn't think it did magic attack, but look at that jump in magic defense. Do you see that? Do you see how big that number is? How much bigger it is than the number on the left. That's a big jump. There's also some other interesting things around here that I'm not going to get, but are worth taking note of. Phantom Shield accessories that reduces damage from all attacks by half, which is pretty neat. There's also Dragon Shield and Angel Scarf with it, which is magic and physical damage reverse, respectively. I got those switched. But, you know, these are accessories. I kind of don't like using accessory slots, even though reducing damage, just all damage, is pretty nice. I can get pretty decent results just out of buying these legend casks, and, you know, I like having the healing charm and all of that stuff, so I don't want, like, Dart's health to drain every turn, for example. So we're actually going to buy a couple of these legend casks. As you can see, we've only got 20,000, 25,000 gold, so we can only afford a couple. If you remember, though, Meru still has that dragon helm that increases her HP, and her magic defense is okay. I mean, it's... I guess it's not any better than anyone else's. I thought it was for some reason, but, you know, she'll be all right. So we're actually going to stick these legend casks on Hashel for one, and we're going to stick it on Dart. And that's going to use most of our money. We're down to 5,000 gold, and Meru will just make do with the dragon helm she has. Maybe at some point, if we get enough money, I can give that to her again. But the thing with the legend cask is... with the magic defense, I think there are some other stats that might not have been shown there. If I take a look... if you look, yeah, see our attack avoidance is like 5%, but if you look at our magic avoidance down there at the very bottom, 50%. So what I'm interpreting that to mean is that we actually have just a 50% chance now to just evade magic attacks, which is all damage. And even magic attacks that hit have to go through a monstrous 244 magic defense, or, you know, likewise for the other people. And if we look at Meru, who does not have that equipped, her magic avoidance is still at 5% with a relatively normal magic defense. So essentially those legend casks just sort of nullify magic for a lot of the time. Obviously it doesn't completely negate stuff, but if you have a 50% chance to evade and then all that, the 50% that gets through is like heavily reduced, you know, magic is really not a problem. And that's kind of where most of the problematic stuff comes from. Most of the stuff you're going to die from in boss fights and whatnot. So we are very strong at this point. I'll just say that much. So that's basically all I wanted to do on that little sidetrack. Now we can just head back into the Twin Castle in Fletz. It's been a little while since we've been here. And see if we can find that dock. So we're back here in Fletz. There's all kinds of things we can check out. You can see our good friend Nello, the planter person. There was a word for that I forgot. Did it, apparently. There's all kinds of greenery around, as you can see. It's a big step forward. Saw some seeds in the barrens, and believe it or not, the buds sprouted. Yeah, so remember, Nello's project here was to bring green back to the wasteland, basically. The barrens are all brown and sandy and rocky, but we want to get more seeds and sow them in the barrens, make that place green again. Sounds like a good goal. Looks like he's made some progress here. That's cool, huh? Heartwarming, I guess. Following up on some old people that we parted ways with a long time ago. We can, of course, also head up here to the bar and talk to Kathy, if you remember them, and all that stuff. But don't really say too much. I don't even remember what she talks about at this point, but it's just like one line that's not super important. And, of course, the castle guard, long time no see. Yeah, I guess it's been a little while. And now we're ready to go into the castle. It's nice. You just walk into the town and like, yeah, hey, guard, I'd like to go into the castle, please. Like, oh, yeah, sure. Come on in. Some important people, aren't we? All right, well, it looks like the whole royal family's around here. Got a little Fester's back there. The maid Libria, I think, is back there. We're seeing you off. It's kind of cool. You go to all these different towns and they're just giving you a hero send-off, you know? So yeah, they received the messenger. Karen, of course, stopped by. It's kind of the first outside contact they've had for a long time. And of course, you know, King Zaire here would be the cool guy that it just goes along with it because he's the cool guy. And he apparently also just bought the story. I guess they told him the whole thing. Even if it was the intention of the creator, we're still alive and living. Please save the world. Well, you know, sure, I guess. I'm gonna just do it along the way. So Pueller's waiting for you in the basement. If you miss Commodore Pueller, the man of the sea, then we'll get to see him again. Oh, hello. Getting a little close there, Lisa. I'm taken, you know. I love Dart's response. Oh, so long. Save the world. The fate of all humanity is in your hands. Well, so long. Alright, so as you can see now, these doors have finally been opened. You may have wondered what was behind them. I think if we checked before, it would just say, like, under construction or something. Like, we couldn't get back there anyway. One little thing I want to do, though, this is not necessary in any way, but I like doing it just because, you know, it's fun. Yep, we can head back up into Emily's room. Remember, Emily and Albert had the thing going on. Dart, you're standing a little close there. Just stand right behind you. Hey, what you doing in here? What's going on? Let's wait for him outside. Under these circumstances, it's okay for him to do it. Wait, what? Haschel? What? How much weight did you give to me in that prayer, huh? Even I, as a king, can feel fear. just feel like I would like to be able to rely on somebody, just like regular people. They're still regular people, you know. You have fancy titles, but... Otherwise, I would stop you from going by using whatever means. Alright, yeah, just fade to black, we know. Alright. Yeah, and you also, Meru back there said she had somebody she wanted to meet. I've played around with this in my free time, like working for all this, you know, figuring out what needs to be done. And I've went back to the Forest of the Winglies, and all of those people are still there. You know, I can't think of who she would be talking about other than Guaraha back in the forest and, you know, her parents, you know, all the people there. So I went back there. Nothing really special happens. There's no special dialogue or anything, as far as I remember, at least. It hasn't been a while, but it seemed to be pretty much just standard procedure when I went back there. So it's kind of just a big waste of time because it's kind of a long time to get back there. Remember, that's deep in Milsaso. So, you know, that's a bit of a walk for not a whole lot of payoff, so we're not going to do it. Other things you can do at this point, you can actually go back to Bale, remember where the castle was located back in Serdio, and in Lavitz's mom's house. Of course, Lavitz has been gone for quite a while now, but remember the people that we saw along the road that he gave the kid an apple and was like, hey, why don't you stay with my mom? They are actually living there now, I think, and of course, Lavitz's mom is still around. You can also go all the way back to Celis at this point, and I wouldn't recommend it because it's not that special. But Shauna's parents are actually there, and they say something like, why isn't Shauna with you? Oh, please save Shauna, and that's it. It's just like 2 lines for a super long walk, so I'm not going to bother showing it, but it's kind of interesting that all of that stuff is still kind of back there. Like, they had to program all that. It's also where you can start to see where sort of the seams start to fall apart on stuff like localization. If I remember, like, some of the lines are written kind of weird, and they don't speak quite proper English. Because it's one of those things, just like only 1% of the player base or less is going to see it. So why would we take the time to make, like, really good translations for it? Just churn it out and be done. So we're in the docks here underneath the castle. Looks like Pueller and Kayla are here to meet us. Actually, it's my home village. A man of the sea isn't bothered by those little details. I love that. Probably one of the more funny moments of the game. Peeler's like, this unknown village. It's like, actually, it's my hometown. I can't be bothered with that. Alright, so let us be going, and he runs off. And yes, look at that guy back there. He is still sweeping the deck. Remember the last time we were on the Queen Fury? He is still there sweeping the deck. That's all he does. I assume this will be a long journey. Yeah, probably. So Kayla suggests restocking, which is not a bad idea if you need to. If you haven't been, she said, please rescue Shauna there. I didn't mean to button through it that fast. But it's not a bad idea to restock if you need to, of course. There's not going to be a whole lot of opportunities to do that in the upcoming areas, so it's probably a good idea to grab whatever you need before you actually head off here. Alright, so that's a pretty neat little dock here. Kayla's waiting, and we can tell her we're ready, but I think we are going to wait for that until the next part. So next time we'll hop onto the Queen Fury and start making our way towards Rouge, Haschel's hometown. That should be cool. Until then, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.